It's good news, bad news, George. The good news is the Pfizer tests look good and we'll have a vaccine shortly. The bad news is that it's about 2 months before Joe Biden takes over, and that means this administration is going to be implementing a vaccine plan. The vaccine plan is very important, and it's probably the most ambitious undertaking since COVID began.
Good grief. For more on this and other China virus-related matters, we're joined by Dr. Zuhdi Jasser. He's a former lieutenant commander in the United States Navy Medical Corps, former president of the Arizona Medical Association. Always good to see you, Doc. Your reaction to those comments you just heard from Governor Cuomo?
It's absurd. I mean, for a party that is giving us lectures about maintaining the integrity of the voting system, what about the integrity of America's trust in our vaccine approval system? I mean, it's one of the most tightest ships that we have. And it's going through so many different vetting mechanisms. Right now, the initial results are that ultimately the over 90% success rate of treatment of patients that have had the vaccine do not get the China virus, do not get COVID. So ultimately, that's getting up towards the success rate of measles. So if we're talking about eradication, do they want us to wait months in order to implement that? There's no evidence whatsoever that it hasn't been a successful program so far, and you have multiple companies vying for this Operation Warp Speed, which is now proving to be successful, and they just will do anything because of political gamesmanship instead of allowing the success to treat and protect the American people, which I thought was what we're all trying to do.
Yeah, you're right. It almost seemed like Cuomo was trying to say, can't we just wait until Biden, he thinks Biden will be sworn in so he can get the credit for it? Absolutely amazing. And of course, this is a guy who threw a whole bunch of seniors into danger by putting infected China virus patients in with seniors in his homes, resulting in thousands of deaths. But that's Cuomo. Let me put some video up on the screen for you. Washington, D.C. This was the scene. A bunch of Democrat socialists getting out and celebrating the return of socialism, allegedly, to the White House. Look at that. No masks, no social distancing. Gayle King, the biased so-called journalist over at CBS, talking about a party-like atmosphere, yet no condemnation from the Nurse Ratchet press about this kind of nonsense. What do you think?
And you know, the cognitive dissonance, Chris, where you've got now spikes of numbers of testing positive across the country, where if they really cared about social distancing and all the lectures they've been giving the rest of us about the need for lockdowns, et cetera, and you already have Biden talking about putting in a mask mandate across the country, if that really is so true, then they should be lecturing all of these folks about dispersing their mass gatherings, because it's very much a danger for states, especially New York and others, where you've seen such dangers to patients.
Yeah, and quickly, I want to correct something I just said. There were masks visible there, but the social distancing was nowhere to be found. Beijing Biden says he's going to call the nation's governors for a national mask mandate. Medically speaking, and you've seen some of these mandates in practice around the rest of the country. Where do you think this gets us when the entirety of the country is wearing masks by federal edict? What do you think?
I have no idea what that actually means, a mask mandate. Are there going to be federal officers now going to states to adjudicate that? I mean, even our own state, our governor told the mayors and other municipalities it was up to them to decide what they wanted to do locally. I mean, if there's anything that belongs in a local jurisdiction, it would be a mask decisions for businesses. But it doesn't make sense. It's simply doing something for the sake of saying that he's doing something and doing. It shows you how little difference there's going to be in the Biden administration's policies to protect the population from COVID from what the Trump administration was, which is very little change at all. Yes, set the example, wear masks if you're closer than 6 feet. But a mandate is completely useless unless they're going to deploy federal officers to enforce that, which would be absurd.
Dr. Zuhdi Jasser, always appreciate the time.
Newsmax TV is now America's fastest growing cable news channel. We give you the real news you need. So subscribe to our YouTube channel and give us a thumbs up. If you like this video, share it with your friends. Newsmax TV streams live on YouTube for free. Newsmax TV, real news for real people.